Hey, Kobay, good to see you back in uniform.
Good to see you too.
Just talk about, you have a lot of unfinished business. It must have been frustrating to watch Phil throw the ball all over the yard last year, and how are you just trying to make up for that right now?
I wouldn't say it was frustrating watching him. I would actually say the exact opposite. I knew I was coming back, so being able to see what the offense has turned into has really kind of got me pumped up coming back. It's keeping my hopes up, definitely.
Jason, just talk about the outside speed with you and Zay. How much can you stretch the field?
I think we're gonna be able to really, shock the country this year. Not just me and Zay. We got a room of receivers. I think everybody in our room is going to be able to showcase something this year. And that's what I'm really excited for, honestly. And having a room like that is going to create competition. And I can see that I'm not out there right now, but I can see it already. Having just when you have multiple good receivers, it's gonna bring out the best in everybody because everybody wants to play. You know what I mean? And not everybody can play at the same time, but it's just going to bring out the best. So it's going to make, everyone's going to push Zay because, Zay's he's a top dog right now. And having people being able to compete and just having that competitive nature, especially since we're all, like best friends, it's just going to push us, take us to that next level.
We'll go next to Trevor.
Hey, Kobay, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Can you just describe first just what happened on the injury? I don't think we've heard from you from that, and then just kind of what it was like the past year, just leading up to where you are now to get back on the field.
It was second day of camp, and it was like kind of like this it was like a tempo day, so we weren't going full speed and running a route. I jumped up for the ball and I kind of landed on it wrong, and yeah, that was it. Ended up having at first I didn't really know what it was. It was because it was a partially torn ACL. Tried to come back, play on it a little bit. And it was too bad. So then I decided I had to go get the surgery.
And then just what was the recovery process like in the past few months leading to where you are now to get back to something you obviously are pumped to do?
So in the beginning, it was tough. It was my senior season. Where obviously, you see how it went with us throwing the ball. So I was really looking forward to that. That was something that, Coach Have said that we would do more of when I decided to stay. So obviously, I was really looking forward to that. And it was tough, but I had great support. My teammates, the coaches, my family, they really rallied behind me, made sure that I always had positive mindsets, positive vibes all around. So yeah, it was definitely tough. And each day is getting easier, especially as I start to do more stuff, I start to actually feel more like a football player again.
We'll go over to Kevin.
Hey, Kobay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good. So last year, Zay had told us that he worked out with Antonio Brown. I'm curious if you had ever, gotten to sit in on, any of those conversations, or if there's any pro receiver that you've either modeled after or been able to work out with. Okay,
so yeah, when he was actually doing that over quarantine, and we were actually having Zoom meetings at that time. This is when we had just went home, and I think we had spring ball for like 5 days. And I remember Zay would come back, he would come in our Zoom meetings in the morning, and he would talk to us about how he worked out with Antonio Brown, and he would, give us all tips. So he was sharing it with the room. We were all learning something, even our coach. And then we even had the luxury of having Doug Baldwin come talk to us, who was personally my favorite receiver when he retired. And that's somebody if I had to pick a receiver that I would kind of model myself after, or whose game I like the most, it would be Doug Baldwin. For sure.
Go back to Trevor.
Hey, just one more for you. I think CJ Lewis surprised a lot of people last year. We knew he was talented, but we didn't know how good he was. Just what was it like seeing him do that from afar and just watching him ball out every week?
So CJ kind of had the same, thing as me. I knew what CJ could do. He's been a really good friend of mine for quite a while now. And before this past season, I thought he was going to have his breakout year. And because he was having a great camp. And I think a week or two right before the season, he ends up getting hurt. Kind of like what happened to me. You know what I mean? And then it was a real bad toe injury type of deal. And it kind of kept him out for a majority of the season. So we didn't get to see that year. And I knew I knew like what that did to him because, he had been working very hard. He was having his best camp that I've seen. Like I get to see him making that transition from being a quarterback to a receiver those past 2 years. So when this season came and I got hurt and I remember I was in the receiver room, I had no doubts that people were just going to pick up, you know what I mean? There would be no drop off, so seeing CJ have this year was probably one of the best feelings, you know what I mean? See him being able to have this type of year because I knew how much it meant to him and, getting hurt the season before when he was supposed to kind of have his breakout year. So just seeing all that work finally pay off, it's a real good feeling.